Good afternoon. We're taking advantage of the low wind that we have this afternoon to work on the Wallapini. Some things that I neglected to say in a previous video about the gauge size of the wire basket. Now this is our prototype that we made out of 4-inch hog panel, and this gauge is about a 4-gauge wire, and that's a little overkill. So if you're going to make gabion basket walls, you want to make sure that you have the right gauge wire. And these are a 9 gauge. You don't want to go any less than 11 gauge. The smaller the number, the bigger the wire. So anyways, we're working on stacking the rock. Make sure you have your hand protection, your wrist protection. And we're dropping these boulders in from a height of 5 feet. And then we use a stick to try to position the rocks in place. You don't need it airtight, but you want to eliminate a lot of the air gaps. Like we have a big gap here we're going to try to get a smaller rock into. And as you're moving up and you're building your cages, in order to keep the rock from expanding or bowing the cages out, you use these stiffening rods. Now, they come in your kit, but I don't think you get enough. We're going up about every foot, 1.5 feet. You get enough rods in your kit for maybe every 2.5, 3 feet, but we just want to keep the cages tighter. So we ordered more of these stiffening rods, and then we started making our own. I think I talked about that in a previous video. Another thing about the cages, now this is galvanized steel, and but we also got it coated, so it's coated galvanized. And again, if you're going to be welding on it, make sure you have an air filter on, because it's toxic. So you want to have good ventilation. The coating keeps it from rusting. And because this is going to be a wet environment, it's a greenhouse, we went with the coated galvanized. So Jim's going to demonstrate putting on one of these rods, and that will be the end of this video. As he's going and getting the rods, just my dog, he's so cute. But showing you the rock piles we have ready to go. We've screened out those big rocks. We put the great big dugans that we kind of sorted out in the bottom because we want all that heavy weight on the bottom. When you're putting the stiffening rods in, you do it as you're working up. You don't put them all in at one time, because then if you're dropping rocks from a height of 5 foot, you're going to have a lot of them bending the heck out of these wires. So we just put them in as we go up. And then you crimp the ends. Now notice, when he put this wire in, he's catching both the vertical and the horizontal at the T, just to give it some more integrity. So he's on the intersection of those two wires. So make sure you do that. Hopefully in the next video we'll have another rock wall completed. Thanks for joining us.